Hello YouTube, just some more random ranked gameplay against Mihawk today, using the same list I was using in the last video where I'm showcasing this tech card. Still kinda liking it for the most part. Yeah, we can just hop into it, nothing too special. Unfortunately, it is like, just all Mihawk on the ladder. Like, it's just the only leader you find 99% of the time. Um, sorry, ignore that. Like I said, I'm always doing other stuff. Yeah, so does he wanna? Okay. So another thing about Whiplaw and 4, I said they often take, and like maybe they shouldn't, but they also can do this line. Obviously, I just don't have another play, and I would still prefer to play Permalaw here to not mess up my Don. But like, I don't know. I'm not sure if they should be doing this when they literally just saw me search Whiplaw. And I have 2 mamas, so I decided to just get out of the first hit for free. And just do it, and then, like I said before, if they have no stage, hitting the weenies is good in my opinion. Now we have one search to try and find a Rosi Law next turn, so hope we do. Yeah, he's not gonna rest the smoker, although theoretically he really could rest the smoker, but it just probably doesn't make a difference, right? So why do it? It's like if I have Rosi Law, it's never gonna be able to swing 7 at the smoker, but again, just like why? 8's I'm taking 8 this early, right? I'm trying to find a Sokka. If I take stage, I don't actually have the Dawn to find Sokka for next turn, but I can still try to find like a Rosi Law or something. And then I actually decide not to swing the Whiplaw here because I don't want to have to count out of a big swing. They probably just take anyway. And this way, if they owed in my Rosi Law, I can still block the Smoker swing. They missed Mihawk, luckily. It feels like this deck, like, hardly ever misses, but I guess sometimes they do, right? Sometimes you're lucky. Go 7. Just gonna take. Assuming he swings the Smoker, we're actually gonna play that next turn, I guess, right? So definitely don't want to trigger it, and then we get the free block. Well, not get the chunk block. Then snap off this event. Play the Kinemon. Probably play this stage. Trying to find a Sengoku. I mean a Sakazuki still. Take a Rosi Law though. It's funny if they like Mihawk Odin here, we could just like take the life and event them again, right? But obviously we're not gonna use the event when they just have the 5 cost. I assume I take this, and then like right now looking at my hand, there's definitely options. Okay, I assume I could. I think there's 2 ways. You could Sokka Mama this and play Whiplaw, which I'm not gonna do though, or you could just wait to do it next turn because this really isn't that big of a threat. So you can just Borsa Rosi Law or Borsa Whiplaw, but Rosi Law keeps higher on Dawn. You can just Whiplaw them next turn. Probably not gonna need 2 Sokkas. And then next turn the plan is probably Sokka plus Whiplaw. And like if they do play 10 cost here, that's technically you can Sokka Mama that. He just has Odins for days. Curious if I'm gonna try to make Event live here by blocking. I feel like it's not terrible, but it could also just be like unnecessary because his board's really not that scary. We're gonna 2K. Okay. I do want to play to not use the event, basically. Just gonna Sokka. It's definitely a Sokka Riplaw this turn. Um, yeah, we can go stage next and see what we find. Get a 2K, filter the brick out of our hand. I think that event's probably just not going to be relevant for the rest of the game. I think swinging at the Piranha is reasonable, but I think could also swing live. Again, a lot of the plays, I'm not entirely sure what's correct. I think there's arguments for both. And I don't want to swing the Borsa. Huh. I think maybe I should swing the Borsa. Honestly, like we have a good amount of counter in hand. I don't know. I think I should just swing like 8 at this Odin, to be honest. Yeah, I think I should just like hit that Odin for 8, get 2 cards out of hand. Decide not to free block right away, because when they do stuff like this, I almost feel like that's what they're tempting you to do. But also, it's to get back the Riplaw, like I said. I mean, like I did. He does Beppo. The thing about this is he's clearly baiting that he's gonna stun these. I don't even know if baiting is the word. He's clearly gonna stun these. But I think I just decided like that's perfectly okay with me. So here we technically want to swing once and then Riplaw, but we also want to have a Don to minus. So I think we should swing 6 with the Blocker Law at one of them. Technically, I think I just end up searching instead, but like we could have used that stage like the cycle or something first, right? Okay, so like I'm definitely just gonna Borsa this turn. But yeah, small sequencing problem. Should have swung 6 with the Riplaw first, but otherwise it's pretty decent, reasonable turn. We have a good amount of counter. There shouldn't really be a world where we die here. We just don't want them to have more stuns, obviously. I think a world where they go like Perona plus stun would be like our worst case scenario. Skip forward a bit. Swing 6. Let's add a 2K. Get used to the Don while we can. Just use the 2K. Okay, so he is stunning again with a Beppo. You could block to this. Yeah, do block to it. Okay. And then we're gonna chunk block this. I think I was trying to see if I could find a Borsa or something, or just an I Love You. Either one is really good. Now we just get to Rush Law this. Swing 8 at it. We'll get the Dawn back with Rosi. Then actually decide to go ahead and Mama just to get another Dawn back for the second I Love You. Honestly, I don't think I should stage there. I don't think we necessarily want to trash Departure. This is a world we use it next turn, but we'll see. Do obviously just like we're just telling him to have another stun. Just seeing if he does. If he does, we'll keep playing. Alright, we have a Borsa now, right? So as Mihawk. Because I can't rest my Rosie Law. No stun though. I think here you could honestly like double I love you just to use both the Dons. You don't have to worry about keeping Don up next turn. This is what I do. Add 2k. Okay, I think I should just use the second I love you there. But maybe I wasn't entirely sure what I would want to get back. But I think I should just use the I love you and get back Rush Law. And then like with Rush Law, he's like definitely dead, right? Even though he's probably dead anyway. This one's just over, right? Skip forward. Just swinging 8s. And yeah, he's just dead. On to the next one. This is definitely a keep. We have 4 cost plus Navy Searcher and Vent. Find the Rosie Law. This line again. I decided to counter first hit because we already have everything we want, really. Even though we have Event, I'm still down to play it this way because we also have Sokka. So like, we don't necessarily need Event, and then there's also very many worlds where he can go wide again. But the thing about going second is you're less likely to need Mama because if they play a body on 5, it's more likely to go sideways on 7. So like right now we're looking at Rosie Law and the Sokka Rip Law. So we don't necessarily need the event. So we're hoping to find a stage at some point to cycle that. Let's go 6. He's gonna take either way. Curious, do I decide to float my... I think I decided to float my blocker law here. Just to not be worried about Smoker Banish that. So I don't have to give too many cards for it. But then like, there's also a world where he just doesn't swing it if we do that. So like maybe I should. But we love to see the Piranha. This means if he does play Mihawk, our event will be live. So like that would be ideal for us, obviously. We'll go like Mihawk into Odin. Rest the Piranha. Actually, I guess he could rest Mihawk if he's gonna rest Smoker anyway. But like he could just not rest Smoker, right? He could go Mihawk, Odin, rest Piranha, swing 8 with lead. That doesn't actually... Okay, well, we see he's missing the Mihawk combo, and he rests his leader with the Kinemon. Because I guess he's assuming it'll get free blocked anyway. Tells me that can't swing. Does he want to swing the Smoker? He does. We can just block take this. And now the event is eyes. You could also just Sokka here. But I think I decide I'd rather just Sokka next turn if he plays like a 9 cost Mihawk or something. If he plays like a Mihawk or a Shanks, I'd rather have the Sokka for that. Swing a couple times, see if we can get some cards out of hand before we Riplaw him. Get a Vent plus Beppo, it's not bad. Yes, Kinemon. Then it goes 10. It's definitely okay with us. This turn is definitely somewhat interesting. At 9 Dawn. You could just like double develop here with Rosi promo or Sokka promo. Okay. I decided to punch the Perona. Because he's gonna. Okay, I punched the Perona because if he has to. He'll have to rest one of these and then I get to punch it again. Um. And it still gets a card out of hand. Arguably, it's like bad because you could have got more cards out of hand than that. If you, or you wouldn't really though. You just get the life, but like, you know, getting one card out of hand for an 8 is not necessarily better. But I think it's good in this spot. Because now he does have to turn something on his board sideways for leader effect. It will probably be the Perona, right? Because he doesn't, he's not too scared about that. This is definitely just a free block. But yeah, he's not too scared about his Perona dying, obviously. I think I just free block again. Do this, add Borsa. I think I cycle right away next. I hope I find Mama so I can rest the Beppo, but I don't. Now it's either Borsa Rosi Law or Sokka Float Some Dawn. If I had to guess, it's Borsa Rosi Law. Swing 6 first to get a card out of hand. Since his leader is 7. Swing 8. I'm curious if I'm ever supposed to swing at Perona instead, like with my early 6k swings, and if he ever uses it, he has to rest the Beppo and then I can Sokka the Beppo. Might be too greedy though. This is a good spot, so like maybe that's too greedy. Well, it's a good spot assuming we don't get like Luna forever. That's always the dilemma with green though. Here, probably just counter or take. If I counter this one, I assume I'm gonna counter this one as well. Okay, and then we can just free block the, or chunk block, I should say, the Beppo. Sokka that, swing 5 at it, get some more cards. He also has nothing to words. He has nothing to rest for his Perona. Just win another 6, because if he wants to give me more cards, I guess I'm okay with that. I'm not sure if that's entirely true. Here, I kind of expect I just win like 10 at Perona. Okay, yeah. Then probably just pass. Again, if he has Beppo plus stun, like Luna, unlucky. But we'd still stay at 1 because we counter 7 for sure. Double Odin. $1K. 11 at. I think there's a world to go at Sokka there, but he decides, you know, he basically just gets a love you out of hand, just go life. Reasonable, I guess. I go 5. I don't expect him to ever take. And then I'm doing the math. I need to swing 17 to ensure that this dies. So I think I actually do just do that. Like, we're so far ahead. If this dies, he's definitely cooked. He's trashed the non-counter. And then you'd have to have double DMG here, and even then we'd still have a Don. So I think we're always living. We just don't rest our other blocker. He does have double DMG. But he has to rest a Don. Which means it's like 777. So, and he rests 2 Dawn instead of the blocker. I don't think that's ever correct, but maybe. Either way, we have to counter I think he forgot I had a blocker. We could counter a 7 though, obviously, so it's fine either way. Um, but yeah, like again, in that world, resting the Dawn over the blocker is the same because I have the two I love yous. But you know, he should just like make me have them and rest the blocker, of course, right? Because the blocker is a guaranteed block. Um, yeah, on to the next one. Mulligan, this hand is not ideal, but we have 4 costs and we technically have Navy Searchers if we need them. I'm gonna wait to play these twos because I'd prefer not to, obviously. The only argument to play them right away is to have weenies to contest, but once they play Kiku, Kiku kind of works like stage in the sense where you kind of give up on playing, clearing their stuff. I do decide to play it. We do at least have a clear target to get rid of in the departure. But I decided to play it right away instead of risking if we need to search like 3 times for it. Just want to find it more than anything. Odin. Especially when we counter the first hit and then play a Suru. He should definitely be going 5-5 here, I think. And it's just like really bad for us. Yeah. So we take the first one. We're going to counter the second one. So we're very down on card advantage now. 7 life. Play Rosi Law. Not a whole lot going on. Just trying to recover from the bad start. Which the bad start was just playing Suru and then getting 5-5'd. But it's definitely not ideal. Draws Kinemon. Could block and make him turn to Odin sideways, but it's just not ideal to block, give a card, and then still have another swing. It's just we're already down so many cards. We kind of do the most efficient thing of not blocking that, so we can still free block Odin, which just means unfortunately they don't swing it for Asaka. But we do draw Event at least, which is really good. So now we get to pop the 2 7Ks. This is another reason why I like this over Lightning. Aside from I've never really liked Lightning because it's 1-for-1 and minus Dawn. This is 2-for-1. And it can kill the 7Ks, which this deck definitely is very relevant. The 6Ks are very easy to hit over eventually. He is scared to take this. I think there's a world where you should just not swing this 8. But I decide it's okay. We'll just kill him. It might be okay. But I think there's definitely worlds where you don't swing that 8 there. Once they counter 6. Obviously, if they ever take 6, you hit them to 1. But once they counter 6, you could argue they have 4 in hand, just pass for a turn, make them have more good plays with their small hand. Then even if they do, they'll have to play those cards and Odin most likely goes sideways and dies. But we wouldn't have been able to rest anyway, so tis fine. Goes 8, just leader effect. Goes 9, we'll block with the law that is 1k smaller, because why not? And then we do draw another event, which is probably just going to be the play here. So swing 6, see how many cards he wants to give us. Do I ever? I think I should have started 5 at life, to be honest, and then 6 at it. I don't think he's ever taking the 5. He might still not be, so it might be no diff. He does take. If I start 5, I'm not sure that he ever takes there. It's very possible I just want to float both my Dawn here to make sure we don't die to DMG. Because we're in a pretty decent spot where we could just stabilize. Potentially. Corona, Odin. Our whole board says no rest. Very cool. Very cool. Mechanic, love that interaction. I think it's probably. I'll just take. I could see a world where I want to stay at 1 here, and then just hope to find like a Borsellino off of stage. But I could also see a world where Rosi Law is our best play next turn, so just take it. Going to 0 against green decks is just awkward. Do just departure that. That means I'm probably countering this swing too, right? I have no plays. And even if I find a Borsa, there's a decent chance I need a blocker to play with it. So I actually add the Ripplaw in order to have a chunk blocker to play with the Borsa. And use both my Dons so I don't have to worry about it next turn. But we do draw another Ripplaw, so it was actually just bad, I guess. So now we just trash it, which makes it basically no difference. Hoping to find a I Love You. Adding Kobe to hope and hoping I find I Love You as well, I suppose. And I guess I decide I'd rather try and find I Love You than play this Ripplaw, which I do find it. This means that this Ripplaw could have been a 2k in hand. We do cycle and find Borsa. So in that sense, it's no diff. But we probably just wouldn't have cycled if we had the 3 2ks in hand. Then we would have top deck Borsa, which is also probably fine. And maybe, like, probably better. I do decide not to free block at all. Because we're just playing into stun events when I'd rather try to kill him, I think. We're basically saying we're gonna kill you next turn. I don't know if that's necessarily correct when we have Borsa in hand. But we are committed to it, obviously. Mainly because he has 3 characters on board and we have a small hand. So math here is definitely like a little awkward. If I go 7, I'm basically always getting an event for 7. I'm not sure if 7's a good start. It should probably be 8. But I think part of me was like, am I ever playing live another turn? That's kind of why I started with my leader. Then I find double blocker, so technically I could heal to 3 and have 5 blockers up. Obviously one of them is invalidated automatically. And then like they have so many other S events. Like if he has DMG, we have 2 blockers, 3 life, no cards in hand. And we know our last life is a brick. And that our other lives can't be I Love You, so it's hard to get a lot of counter from life. So I think it's kind of, you're just praying they don't have DMG if you try to live another turn. And even then, like, it's not necessarily better. It's not like your lethal, like, for sure gets better, because there's a decent chance you have to block with some of these to live. Doing the math, if I go 9, I think he takes majority of the time. He just has to counter 111. If I go, and if he ever counters the 9, then it's 6 7. If he counters the 6, it's 5 5. So like it's reasonable. Or I could go 8 if he ever counters the. I assume he counters 8, but if he takes, I could just jam 12. If he ever counters the 8, I have 6 Dawn left still. Oh, I lied. I can't go 5 5 in the other line, but with 8 I can go 5 5, right? So I think 8's the correct start. They also play less 4K events, if they're even on it. I think most are on Tribiliocosm or the For Fun, if not both. But make them have it, I guess, because they play more 3 cost event, more 3K buffs, I think. So what, DMG, All Out. I wanted to say there was one more, but maybe not. But yeah, I think it's 8. I think it should have been a start 8, but maybe he just takes at that point. But probably not. He does just take, so fuck it, Gem 12. Mihawk effect. All Out, 1K. And then luckily dead. I think we got a little bailed out by the event that game, to be honest. I think we top decked it twice in a row when we needed it. Carries, it carries. Yeah, I mean, I'm not the best at lethal math. I usually just go off a gut. Like if you go 8, you ask for 4K, and then 2K, and then 1K. So it's just not very likely for them to have all that. And even if they, like, technically one of the 1Ks could be off of life, but like either way, it's not likely that they have all that. I think it's more likely that they can counter the solo 12 than they can counter 865. Yeah, and then got one more. Keep, we have promo plus Navy Searcher. Find stage. Love having stage. Put that in a way to where if I draw on the board so exactly, I can put the event into life for the trigger. Swing 5 stage. Fortunately, it's looking like we're gonna miss Rosi unless we get lucky. We do have Suru still actually. We'll probably play Suru to find it. He does have the high roll. He's on the high roll. Yuri into Odin. I just take because I'm still trying to find a Rosi Law. Find a Borsa and top deck Rosi Law. So now we don't play Suru. Even though we'd still like to find like a Sokka and stuff, it's not really worth going Neg for. We do technically have a 7-down play with Borsalino promo. We top deck Sokka, so that's also really good. There's a lot of good cards you could top deck there, though. Like Event would also be good to top deck. Riplaw would be fine. I think Sokka / Event is probably best. Like Riplaw's probably not too far off. Navy Searcher would also not be terrible because we'd have a Dawn. So then this law actually plays around the event better than the Mihawk does. So even if I had it here, I wouldn't have it wouldn't be live. Unfortunate. Let's go 6. And then 7. Just take. You could block 2 there for sure. Poke 6. Just gonna Sokka 1, swing 2 at it. Again, it's like small sequencing errors. I should start 5 and get a card out of hand before I go 6 at the body. If they ever take the 5, I swing 6 at life instead. They're either taking the 1 or giving a 2K instead of a 1K. So I definitely start Sokka, swing 2 at 0, assume it dies, but like they ever try to save it. I don't know, I guess you swing 5 at it then. But then 5 at life, if they take 6 at life, if they counter 6 at body, is like the proper sequencing there. Adds law, replays a smoker. So from here, event would be really good, or another Sokka. Curious what they swing this turn. We stand it down with the smoker. Rest of Dawn instead of the Perona is also interesting. Oh, they want a event. Makes sense. Swing 5. Just 2k. I want to save the Kobe to find a Sokka. And then it's just 7-7. Probably taking. I'll probably start Sokka plus stage. Trash the brick. Find Sokka. As long as we can play Sokka without just like straight up dying. Which I think we can. Honestly, we probably should have started 8 at like the law this turn. Well, after cycle. Start 8 at the law after cycle. Do it after cycle in case we find. Well, he has 9 in hand anyway. Even if we do Riplaw, we could still swing 8 and then Riplaw him. So, like, before showing the Sokka, basically. I'm like always ecstatic when they like make me swing my actual swing into it, but like it was just gonna be a 5 at face, to be honest. So like I got a 2k instead of a 1k. I go 8-8, they both die. I'm very confused, but very happy. And then it's like probably just don't swing here, just so we don't like get cheesed by DMG. We have enough counter, probably never dead to it, but wouldn't want to have to counter with Borsos to live it. Here we probably want to try to use at least one, if not both, of our I love yous, so we can departure plus Borsa. I think I just block I love you, add another 2k. Oh, I don't have the 2k, but I'm pretty sure I add the promo law because it's still like a +1, and then we can just cycle it, so it's fine. Don't necessarily need to get the 2k right away. I'd rather just like use the Dawn while I can. So yeah, I do that, get the promo law, and then like we're not too worried about cycling it. Attach the Dawn to my Riplaw, because I assume this is gonna die to 5, and then I at least get to go 7 at 6. I think argument to go 8 at 6 and just play promo law here. Probably should start stage before anything though. See if we get like a Riplaw off stage. I don't know if we've probably seen some in searches. I'm not too sure, obviously, but okay. I think the next action should be Marineford. It dies to 7 though. He just has to be so bricked, right? At that point, we can just take the turn to heal up. Then I guess the game's just over once that dies, right? Like it's kind of crazy. This whole board just died for free. Like over the course of the last 2 turns. Man, it's very bricked. I don't actually know how many bricks this deck runs. Like historically, it does run a good amount of bricks. So no rest, freeze, freeze. Very cool. Things are happening. So an 8, take. Am I ever hitting this Perona? Honestly, I don't quite see why not. Let's add a 2k. Stage. Now we definitely are. Once we get the Mama, we're just gonna Sokka. We're gonna hit the Perona, then Sokka Mama, whatever comes out. And if it's another Perona, like he won't have another card to rest for it. It's just a 2k. So, oh yeah, his hand's not great, but we're still gonna do this, right? Because it's still like an actual body. And then we have infinite Sokkas to get all of our Dawn back. Body play stage. Find a Borsa, stage effect. Cycle the Rosi, and then just pass with 3 up. Don't really want to play over anything right now. Could always leader effect and use another Soccer effect, I think. But we already have 3 Dawn up and no events, so why? This game is like basically over. Right? He goes Mihawk Odin. Rosie can't rest. Sorry, I was trying to speed it up a bit. Since it is basically over, it goes 9, just block. Here we probably just swing out and play like a Borsellino. Go 8. I guess we could play 2 Borsalinos and float the I love you. Go 8, 8, 8. I don't expect him to take the last 8. The first 2 I think he always takes. He does finally have some counter, it looks like. 5 at life. And then I guess, yeah, we just double Borsellino. Keep the Mama, because technically Mama is extra Dawn next turn for lethal when we have this many Sakas. The more Mamas we have, the more Dawn we'll have to go for lethal, for sure, so. Borsa, play with the Borsa because I want to keep my board of 8Ks, and if he stuns the whole board, we're not really in a rush to end the game, like we still have heal law. Probably take this first 7. We have our 4th Borsa, so definitely not in a rush. Then he shows he doesn't have the stun, so like he's probably dead, but we could also just play another turn. Either way. So I could actually just event those and play another Borsa. But at the same time, like I think if he countered the 6, I probably would have done that. I don't think he's ever countering the 6 though, which is also why it's like why play the event. If he ever counters these 8s, we can just probably swing into this Mihawk. So like basically we played the event without playing the event. If he saves it, like he's definitely dead. I mean, he's probably already dead next turn, right? But still save the Mama for lethal next turn. But yeah, we could have event if we swing 6 at it and he counters. We could still probably just swing over his whole board, but we could also just swing like 8s at life, go event, kill both, and then go leader effect, stage, Mama, and get back to Dawn with the Sakas. We still have enough Dawn to play Borsa. This wouldn't have Dawn for I love yous, but just like things that don't matter. And then here he's just dead to math, right? I definitely like sit here and take the time to do it properly. I think I like to double check my lethal math, especially when there's 7K, it throws off the basic. But yeah, it's just 11-13. So just go 11 with Rosie, and then we get Dawn back with Sokka and send 13. But yeah, that is today's video. Sorry, it's just all Mihawks. Trying to get some other games. It's kind of rough. Mainly Mihawks on the ladder. It's like some Pinel, some Red Green. I started playing into a couple Teach, but hopefully when ranked queues merge back up, we'll find more diverse decks. And like once the format's not as new and people aren't just trying the new stuff. Um, but yeah, for now, just mastering the Mihawk matchup, I guess. Thanks for watching. Any questions in the comments, feel free. And peace.